They never liked Drake. But the man done put so many people on. How many people done? I mean, think about it. He too easy to hate on. Everything going right. Nigga tall, light skin, got curly hair. All the women love him. All his music good. Got a whole bunch of money. Ain't even from America. He too easy to hate. Then you got Kendrick Lamar. He grew up like us. He put his mama Van on his album cover. He struggled for real. His daddy drunk asking for the dominoes. Right. He had to grow up in Compton. Nigga, it's rough out there. Drake ain't have no struggle in his life. No. He was doing good in Canada. He dancing with his white friend, Jewish uncle. They having bar mitzvahs, good investments. You feel me? Yeah. His mama family got that check. Kendrick going through it, bro. Yeah. He had a rough life. I don't think they ever liked Drake.
All right, y'all. Let's put this narrative to bed, bro. You know, I'm outside with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside with it. So, excuse me if there's any crazy noise. Just work with me here. But people don't hate Drake like that, first of all. People hate Drake because he's arrogant. That's number one. He's arrogant. We don't deny the success. We don't deny his talent. But you have to admit something. This whole Drake put a lot of people on shit is a lie. Drake is what we call a leech. Here's why. Drake is a leech. Drake is a leech. He recognizes talent. I'll give him that. You know, he's just like Puffy. He's just like Diddy. He recognizes people with talent and wants to use that other person's talent to add on to what he got. You know what I'm saying? And he'll use their verse, their lyrics, their talent, and he'll just use that shit for himself. Okay? He did it with everybody. He did it with, you know, you heard Drake old music, right? It sounds like Lil Brother and it sounds like Joe Budden. He ended up working with and hanging out with both, right? Okay, then it shifts over to Kendrick Lamar, A$AP Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Then it shifts over to who else? Then he blows up with Young Money, and he start using that Big Sean flow when he with them. Then when he leaves that, he goes ahead and fucking incorporates African slang or Afrobeat. He uses that music. And that is confused for versatility. But y'all know what's going on. It's culture vulture shit. And then it's kind of funny that Drake is dissing Khaled when Drake and Khaled do the same thing. Drake and Khaled both steal from hip-hop culture. And then once they crossed over, they forget about the hip-hop culture. And then not to mention the many times that Drake has stolen rhymes, he rarely pays homage. You know, the Too Short thing, we let that slide. But the Mac Dre thing is just obvious. I know that Drake knows Mac Dre's mother, so I'm pretty sure he got the permission to use that. If he didn't, oh boy, here we go again. We're not going to deny that he stole Hotline Bling from Drum. Listen to Cha Cha and listen to Hotline Bling. It's the same song. Okay? Then we're not going to act like he stole from XXXTentacion. He stole Look at Me and did Kissing My Teeth or KMT for More Life. We're not going to act like that wasn't done. And then when a Kendrick Lamar calls this out, you know what I'm saying? When he exposed Drake and then the Atlanta thing too. Can't forget about the Atlanta thing. him going to Atlanta for the check balance. He did Tony Montana with Future. Okay, I already explained this in the last video, but I'll explain it again in a short version. Future opened up the gates for him to work with 21, to work with Travis, to work with Young Thug. You know what I mean? I know Travis not from Atlanta, but the Future relationship opened up a lot of doors. And then he started doing like hip music, you know, hot music, basically, that the South. He started emulating the South. The Drake that we got on Thank Me Later, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, I believe that was the real Drake. That was when he was more true to himself. Now, you know, now that his career's in a decline, because he's been declining since Scorpion, as far as music is concerned. But when we point that out, it's hating instead of an honest opinion. And I'm going to just be completely honest. Like, I don't really hate Drake at all, but I can tell you why people hate him. And it's not for any of the reasons that Carlos Miller said, even though what Carlos Miller said is funny. And you could see maybe why Kendrick Lamar went in on him. Especially the drunk daddy with the dominoes. That shit is hilarious. But people don't like Drake because he's a culture vulture. And he's unoriginal. And he got caught with the ghostwriters. And there's no accountability for Drake when he does these things. When he rips off other cultures, he rips off them, and he has the nerve to come after Kendrick Lamar and says he don't plant money trees. What has he done in Atlanta? Hell, what has he done in Canada? You got to look at yourself before you start looking at other people's situations. And then not to mention, oh, don't get me started with the numbers. Don't get me started with the damn numbers, bro. The number crunching, the Spotify help, the Apple help, because obviously, you know, Drake has deals with Apple and Spotify. So obviously he pays them to cook the numbers. And then even with the number cooking, he only did 460,000, 450, 460K. That's not Drake level. Drake level is like 600, 700,000. So you see, you know, a lot of people were in denial that Drake declined. He has declined, bro. And, you know, he wants to put out the 3 albums to get out of his deal. I can understand that. I can respect that. You know, because he's in a deal that he no longer wanted to be in. He's already at odds with them, already suing them. And he clarified that he's suing the label. So, okay, whatever. That's fine. But, however, people got to get over the fact that people have opinions about Drake. And it's not necessarily coming from a hateful place. It's coming from a place of, okay, we see this behavior happen, but he doesn't get the same accountability that, can you imagine if Kendrick Lamar got caught with ghostwriters? Can you imagine if Kendrick Lamar has weird behavior with underage women? Can you imagine if Doc crunched his numbers? Can you imagine? Or anybody for that matter. Can you imagine? I'd be sick if Jay-Z got caught with ghostwriters. I'd be hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'd be sick. But everything that I laid out and talked about, those are the reasons why I don't necessarily care for Drake. You know what I mean? It's because, like I told you, I fuck with the Thank Me Laters, the Take Cares, and the Nothing Was the Same version of Drake. I mess with, if you're reading this, it's too late until I realized damn near 90% of that album he did not write. And then, like, after Views, that's when I started to see, like, damn, this dude falling off. You know, he bounced back after the Pusha T beef with Scorpion, which I enjoyed. That was the last Drake album that I really fucked with and enjoyed. So this is not necessarily personal. It's all business. But this King Don't Uncensored, man, and I'm out.